Welcome back. We're up to take one, set the stage. Make sure you have your downloaded notes in front of you because I'm going backwards and forwards from them, but I'm adding extra information as well. And also there is a download sheet called Action Steps where you can download, and at the end of each lesson you can write out what you need, or it'll give you clues on what you need to do or what you can do. So as you're writing them down along the way, you can refer back to them and go, okay, this is what I got to do for the on-camera thing, or this is some ideas that I can do. And that will help you get on your camera. So first step we're going to do is to make sure that you have the right tools to produce your videos. And we're going to start with the simplest and the cheapest options. In fact, we'll start with what you probably already have right there with you. And this is often sufficient for producing basic videos, because videos don't need to be slick or complex at all. They'll just need to be natural and you, that's all. So in this module, this section, in this lesson, we'll discuss cameras, microphones, lighting, and other gear. So your video camera, let's consider some options that you probably have right there in front of you, or in your office, or somewhere at home. One of them is your PC webcam. So if you've got a laptop, you probably 99% of the time have a camera, a webcam there. There's nothing wrong with that, using that on camera videos, and the advantage is that it's already set up and ready to go, and you have built-in software to help you edit and record, and that would have come with your camera on your computer. And or you can have a desktop computer. Now these usually don't come with a camera unless you've bought a package. You probably have a camera, and that webcam would have software that you could download onto your computer to use to record and edit. But before you invest in anything, it's a good idea to try and create a video with your webcam and test it out and see how it looks and see if it is something you can use. The disadvantage, of course, with a lot of web cameras, unfortunately, is the quality. Your webcam offers a worse quality, then I would suggest not using it. However, sometimes you can get a good picture if you just change your scenery or change your environment. You can buy a good web camera for around $100. I would, like I said, with any equipment that you're going to buy, I would jump online and read reviews from people, from real people, or not specifically from computer people, because sometimes they're on a bit of a funding program to spread the word. So yeah, always get out there, read reviews, go test it out if you can, or ask friends, what camera are you guys using? Or if you see a video online and a friend or another church or another organization, you go, hey, what gear are you using? I love it. And that way you can find out what would suit you better, and you can always get a better quality video. So there's always an answer out there. So you just got to find it. I use Logicam StreamCam at the moment, and that's a white rectangle box, and that's the one I've got on at the moment, which came with its own software and easy to use. It came with a microphone too, but I like my other microphone better. So yeah, plenty of ways to get this going. So another option besides the webcam is your smartphone. and you've probably seen thousands of videos online recorded by someone using a smartphone, and you can tell they're using it because you've got the rectangle image. I'm trying to explain this in layman's terms. And they're always walking around or moving or out in the park or in the car, and you can tell it's a smartphone. So one of the great things is with a smartphone, you can record anywhere. Wherever you have a great idea or an idea, you just whip out your phone and start talking. And you can do a little editing or fancy it up a bit with the apps that you can get on your mobile phone as well. But the disadvantages of the recording on a smartphone is that your video does look like a smartphone. So you can stop. You can change it a bit, I suppose. You can get a tripod. You can get ones that sit on your table, or floor ones, a tripod, and pop your camera on there. And that stops the moving and jolting bit. And it looks less like that. It's on a smartphone. And if you ask many people which is the best smartphone camera to use, everyone says the iPhone. So it has got a good camera on there. Another option you can use is, you don't see them very often, but they're pocket cameras, the little cameras that you don't see around hardly ever anymore, because everyone's got a camera on their smartphone. But you can either give that a go. They're small, they're designed to point and shoot. They offer better quality than most smartphones. And they have improved over the years, and nearly offer professional quality these days, because they've got to compete with the smartphones. So the best way to find a great pocket camera is to go to the shops yourself, handle it, give it a go, see what it's like, take photos. They usually got a display one there that you can try. And you can also go online and read real people reviews as well. Another camera that you hardly see anymore is a camcorder. This may be used in your church as part of the video team. But camcorders are bulkier. They're capable of capturing much better videos than the pocket cameras. They can shoot videos that look very professional. And they come in all price ranges, but you can find them for a few $100s. A major advantage is that they have a great deal of memory. But as I go on and on about, go read reviews, go test it out yourself. And if you see another church or organisation or someone doing these on-camera videos, and you really like the look of them and the sound of them, etc., contact them. Say, hey, I really like your setup. What are you using? What camera are you using? I'm looking into getting a new one. And then you can get some people's opinions and advice direct on what they're using and pros and cons. And that's a good way of shopping around. Another camera is the DSLR cameras that are professional grade cameras, and many videographers use them. They're the most favoured all types of video production cameras. They offer stunning clarity and excellent depth of field, a great number of options in terms of focus and shutter speed. You can also get various lenses, and they also have a long battery life. The disadvantage is, of course, the high cost that goes with them. And they can be bulky in size and take up a bit of room. Again, read reviews, see what other people are doing. A lot of social media people use DSL cameras on their one-on-one conversations, online conversations, and yeah, and go try them for yourself. But that's a good choice if you can afford it, because they're not cheap either. So start with the free option. Start with what you got before you buy anything, because you want to keep it simple, keep it plain, keep it you, keep it real. You don't need to pay for upgrades of extra cameras and microphones and lights. It's you can just keep it simple. So start off with what you got, your phone or your webcam, or if you do have a digital camcorder, yeah, start with what you've got, and then once you get going, you can decide on your budget and then shop and read reviews. Recording software. If you have a camera, no matter if it's a DSLR or a pocket camera or web camera, you've already got some software editing with it, because usually there as a disc, or it gives you a link of where to download the software to go with that camera. So the videos, you don't want to be complex, so you won't require a great deal of editing. And software programs can be used for editing videos, like chopping it shorter or cutting out a little bit that you didn't want in there. And there's so much out there. There's so many platforms out there, apps out there, that if you read reviews and look at what other people are saying or using, you'll get an idea of what to use. But we'll talk about that more later on in the course. Microphones. Start with your internal microphone, only if you have to. Most internal microphones aren't sufficient. They don't think of this when they sell their laptops. They don't think of webcams all the time when they sell their laptops on the quality. They just throw one in there, which is annoying. So whatever camera option you use, it will usually have its own microphone built in, and webcams have their own microphone built in as well. The huge advantage of internal microphone is that it doesn't require batteries, or you don't have to carry an extra or have an extra microphone there ready to go. But if your internal microphone, it might be great, it might be fantastic, but if it's a poor quality, get rid of it. Yeah, get a better microphone, and I would say that would be a priority, because you want your sound to come across great, and we want it to sound like you and not like someone else. And people, you're going to capture people visually and with their ears as well, so you want to be sounding great. If it's lacking, you need to upgrade, compare, get someone else to listen as well. And I say that because sometimes when we talk, our voice can sound different to us than it does on the video, than it does to a friend. So I'd get your friend to listen to your video and go, does this sound like me? Is this me? And see what they say. But if you can use an external microphone, if you want to rule that out altogether, so I don't want to use that microphone, get an external external microphone, one that you can either put on your desk or wear, and we'll go through that later on. And that will help the sound and improve the quality of your video. So there are a number of mics that you can get, microphones, and whichever one you want to use, whichever you prefer, you can easily set up with your computer, ready to record. So first up, I'm going to talk about desktop mics. So they could be big and chunky, or they could be small. The desktop mic is a typical microphone that connects to your computer with a USB cord. You can also get sorry, won't go there. But your desktop mic can be set up to what noises you want it to pick up. So it can be noises in front of the microphone, noises behind, noises all around. So if you want a microphone that you want to interview people in the future, with one on one side of the desk, one on the other, that might determine what type of microphone you want to get in the beginning, so you've got that one for the long run. You have a shotgun microphone, which is a long, thin microphone that you can see on the news at professional shots. They're useful because they're very directional. They pick up the subject they're aimed at, and generally are just enough to make the sound more natural, and it's not distracting either. It can be used from a distance, so you probably see them on out shooting on film sets with these big, long, skinny shotgun microphones. So this is probably one that you would probably use down the future if you're looking at doing more professional shoots. Handheld microphone is probably what many of you used at church or in your organisation when speaking somewhere. You see reporters on TV using them. They're easy to use, and you can control what the microphone picks up. You just hold it and speak, and it just picks up your voice very easily. But it can make you look a bit newsy, I suppose, and you have to speak directly into them. Next one is a lapel mic. You probably use these too, speaking out of church. One of those ones that sit on your shirt, or you can even have earphone mics that come around to the face. So these are great for interviews. Sometimes the disadvantages can be that they can pick up noise like a shirt shuffling around, or they can scratch your face and end up with scratch noises. But there are some of the microphones that you can choose from. So if you're looking at starting in your office, you'd probably pick one of those. With your phones, you can also purchase microphones that plug in to your phone and use them when you're out and about, or if you're planning to use your phone full time. You can take it wherever you want, and they're only little and don't take up much room at all. The next subject is probably a good one, and you'll probably notice that it can affect your video greatly, and it's about lighting. So you need to choose a location with great natural light. You can walk around with your phone or your webcam. If you're using a webcam in your office or wherever, just walk around and look at the lighting and see if there's any shadows happening. That will have a huge effect on your quality, of your video. In fact, they can make a big difference. They can make the worst webcam look great. And so if you have a low quality camera, try some lighting. Get some lightings from your shop. We have Kmart here in Australia. You got Walmart in America. Just get some ring lights and give it a go and see if you can change the quality of your videos. So we're going to learn how to use those lights in this course. But first of all, if you go outside with your iPhone or your Android phone and video yourself out there in natural light, that God has given us great light out there. I'll tell you what, the video quality is great, but it also depends on your camera, what type of camera you've got, to what kind of quality is going to come out. But give it a go. Do some videoing out there and see what you think with the lights out there that God's created, the light, the sun. So we're going to go back to the office and talk about the lights in here. So I have two lights and 2 windows open, and my lighting's not that bad. I have 3 lights, but one is being borrowed, and so that's my backlight, which is Go and Walkabout. So in your notes you will see a diagram, and we've got 3 lights there. So the key is the dominant light. The key light has been around for, I done stage lighting back in my, we'll just say 30-something years ago. And the key light was around there. It's always been there as the dominant light. It's placed about 45 degrees to the left or the right of the subject. It's positioned as though it was the only light, but it isn't. It casts light on your subject, and it creates deep and dark shadows as well. So next you bring in, once you've got your key light, you bring in the fill-in light for the key light. It's placed in a very similar way to the key light, but its purpose is to remove the shadows and lessen the darkness on this side. The fill-in is to fill in. It's self-explanatory. It fills in the darkness. It gets rid of the shadows, and it balances out the light. And then you've got a backlight. It can be either on your left or your right, but it gives a depth to the video, and it separates the subject from the background, and it creates form and texture. So 3-point lighting is just one lighting scheme. It's considered as the most basic in video production. If you're doing a big production, you'll have more than those 3 lights, but it's a good starting point. And if you've got one spot that you're going to do your video production in continually, regularly, you'd probably will set this up and leave these lights in this position, set your camera up and your microphone, and just leave them there without having to change them, and just pop in your studio and out your studio as you feel, and you won't need to change much. So there are different types of lights to choose when you're choosing your lights. And they range from very cheap to very expensive, but they can do the same thing. And there in your booklet you will see the different types of bulbs. You've got your halogen, incandescent, fluorescent, and they are all different prices. but the halogen is the one that's mostly used because it burns intensity and provides soft, even light. And it's economical for those who want to save money. The disadvantages is that it does require more power than other lights and also heats up a great deal, which is great for a cold day. And incandescent lights and fluorescent lights are others that are used, but not as much as the halogen lights. Other equipment that you might need: a stabilizer or a tripod that can hold your camera or your smartphone steady. These can also be found, along with the lights, can be found at Kmart, Walmart, other department stores for very cheap prices. All it's got to do is hold a camera. It's pretty basic. They're all pretty stable. A boom pole if you're going to have a shotgun mic. A stock mount if you're going to use a desktop microphone, something to hold your microphone in if it doesn't already have a stand. Headphones are great. You can get wireless headphones or iPods or whatever to pop in your ears to stop the playback from the sound from your computer speakers. I use the, what have we got here, Blue Yeti, I think it is, microphone, because it's one that suits my needs and it's very well sound quality. Light reflectors, you've seen photographers use these to reflect the light. You can use them. They can help cut out one or two lights if you haven't got enough light to use. And bags for storage. You're always going to need somewhere to store your gear, so make sure you have somewhere to keep your gear safe and secure, but you can either even leave it set up if you're not going to go traveling around it and moving your gear from place to place. So we're going to move on to actually setting up your shot. Now, when you set up your shots, I'm trying to move my eyes in better. My camera is probably down slightly a bit, but imagine a line going from your camera to your eyes, and you try to shoot at eye level, and because so people can relate and communicate with you better, but you can get creative and shoot downward or upwards, but psychologists say that you're trying to avoid the camera or not giving eye contact. You can be shifty, blah 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 blah. So at eye level you look natural and professional, so stick with that. That's what I think. You can use a backdrop. I wouldn't advise green screens unless you're going into gaming or something like that. Try to get neutral paint or neutral colour on your backdrop or background on your wall, and just fill it with stuff. Fill it with shells. That's what I've got. Plants from cheap artificial plants that look real. Put books, bookcases, whatever that suits your culture. Stick with your culture. You can have a sign there, whatever, to make it look natural and homely and friendly as much as you want. You can always swap and change things around, move things around, have props, and make it look interesting and exciting. You also probably want to throw in your room, if you set up your studio, so you've got your background there, rugs or cushions or heavy curtains, anything that's going to soak up the echo, because sometimes you can get echo in a room that's it's pretty empty. You've probably been in a room that's been echoey at some stage. So I would, put some rugs in there. And if you got someone sneaking in and out while you're videoing, make sure your floor doesn't squeak and put a rug there. So that's our take one's lesson. If I remember rightly, if you can head to your action steps and then make a list of equipment that you've got and a list of equipment that you would really like to get. And also think about, imagine how you think your studio setup would be if you had your studio set up, or where outside or in the building you could film yourself. So start taking notes, get the mind thinking, and I'll see you in the next lesson.